Grenada today. Located inside Ryder Excursion at the Esplanade Mall, we handle both small and large orders with speed and precision. For fast, quality t-shirt printing, call Instaprint at 473-422-1011. Get your perfect print today at Instaprint. Printing done in an instant.
Hello and welcome to the Wake Up Club. Thank you for joining us. And no, I'm not Coxita Hal, right? My name is Junior George. One of the country's leading television station in Grenada. We'll talk about the passage of Hurricane Beryl. And also, we're hoping to have someone calling in to talk about the psychological effects of the storm, of the hurricane that brought its fury onto the Grenadines island chain yesterday. And at this moment, we are yet to have some really confirmed reports onto the assessment, the damage assessment on the islands of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. We know already that it is severe, based on pictures that was released, video footage that was released as well. But as the extent, we are not fully aware as yet. Again, guys, riders, welcome to the Wake Up Club. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining. Please share the live. And when we come back, guys, I'll talk about some of the things that I've seen thus far that is pissing me off. I know Kirk usually do this segment called What Irks Kirk. I'll talk about what's pissing me off. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. Welcome back again to the Wake Up Club. And of course, my name is Junior George, and I'm going to be taking you through for the hour. Guys, what's some of the things that you are most thankful for? Right? For me, I am most thankful for friends, my close friends. I'm thankful for the people who from time to time would call and check up on me. Because oftentimes some people think and believe that you might be an outspoken person, you're always there, they see you as an Energizer bunny and you're always reaching out, right? But there are a few instances, I have friends that reach out to me and ask me, how am I doing? And sometimes it's an awkward question, right? Because I have to think about it. Someone haven't asked me that in a long time. The truth is, I am thankful for friends who sometimes reach out to me, and sometimes long-term friends for years. I'm talking about friends that been around for 15, 20, 25 years. This type of friends, then they're still here, reaching out and want to know, how am I doing? How is my mental state? Am I resting? Am I eating properly? All these things. Sometimes people seem to forget to ask those questions. So I'm thankful for whenever someone reach out to me and they say to me, Junior, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? All right? Do you have those friends? And are you doing that? Because some people always believe that it should be received, but they don't give it. So if you haven't done it, just pick up the phone sometimes. They randomly call someone that you haven't spoken to in a long time, and ask them. Because even if you might believe that person don't need to hear this, it's welcoming to hear those words. Make you feel like, people are actually thinking about you. Because sometimes, I tell you the truth, you're sometimes seen as a transaction, especially when you're in this business, you're always giving. So reach out to someone today and find out how they're doing. How are you doing? I'm thankful for the times that people reach out to me and ask me those questions. Thank you so much. I got a few of those calls today, and I appreciate it so much. CL, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, we will be speaking with Mr. Kenroy Batiste in a short while, but I had to update everyone on the situation, on the unknown at this point in time, from Hurricane Beryl from yesterday. We are still yet to get some information, full information, or an assessment of the damage on the island. Now, this particular video was taken, certain parts of the video was taken right in the center of the storm, right? So we still haven't seen the full damage assessment, the full damage of Carriacou, and we still even haven't seen anything from Petit Martinique. What we've been hearing for the past couple hours, yesterday into this morning, is that communication lines are still down, and we receive a press release from the Government Information Service that the emergency services will make their way into Carriacou. Early this morning, the Prime Minister and emergency crew would make his way there to Carriacou to do a full assessment, and that would be welcoming, because it's sad to just look at the viciousness of the storm. 150, 130, 140, 150 miles per hour wind is not anything to play with, and we know how the extent of the life of the people in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. So we expect that the damage would be great. Let's jump on the line right now, because we do have Mr. Kenroy Batiste, who is joining us live right now. Let's see if we could bring him in. Mr. Kenroy Batiste, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
Yeah, let me bring my audio down a bit. Yes. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. Good morning to you.
All right, hold on. You're getting an echo, so let me sort that out. Yes, are you hearing me better now?
Yes, I am.
All right, okay. Yes, Mr. Kenroy Batiste, thank you so much for joining us in this. It was a call I made yesterday because I really wanted to hear from you and give you a lot of compliments on the hard work that you've been doing, and especially for the coverage of this hurricane. You really did a lot and getting information out. How are you doing today, Mr. Kenroy Batiste? How are you?
I am doing well. I am okay. The system goes past Grenada, Caribou, Fiji, Martinique, passed through Grenada, Caribou, Fiji, Martinique. But I am doing okay. It was, I tell you, Ivan was one experience. This was another. My experience wasn't as bad compared to Ivan. So I'm grateful for that. Emotionally, I feel very hurt for a lot of people, especially those on the sister isles, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, because they have literally received the brunt of it all. So, yes, and we can talk about the Carriacou experience based on the reports coming in and how the authorities are working to provide relief to the sister isles.
Yes, yes, yes. Tell us about your Ivan experience, Kenroy.
So, Hurricane Ivan was terrible, absolutely terrible. It was, when Hurricane Ivan hit back in 2004, it was life and death. Back then, my interest was how do I preserve my life and the lives of those around me. For example, it was not about trying to safeguard property at the time.
Right.
Hurricane Ivan was a complete disaster. It was devastating. You felt the rage. You felt, like when somebody has this revenge for you, that sort of thing. You
Yeah.
felt it coming across by way of Ivan's impact. But we're here today. We're here today, notwithstanding what happened. And I was just saying to someone recently, we've come so far rebuilding from Hurricane Ivan. And so to almost go back to ground zero is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm happy to say that on mainland Grenada, although the real assessment is yet to happen from today, I understand from NADMA, we have to be thankful. Those of us on the mainland, we have to be thankful because yes, some people have been through, a tough one relative to burial, but from all reports, it is not like Ivan. Yeah, but I don't want to preempt too much because the final, well, not final, but the real assessment will get underway, and all of us will have a clearer picture as to the level of destruction caused by burial on mainland, for example. But
Right.
what I say, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, oh goodness, something else going on up there. It's horrible. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. In terms of the mainland, because again, we have not we haven't spoken to anyone on Carriacou and Petit Martinique yet, so we're not sure as to what their experience is or was. Um, how was Beryl different from Ivan on mainland? Was it more rain? Was it more wind? What was the difference? Main difference, you believe?
That's a good question because Ivan was packed with a lot of wind, like the maximum sustained winds, like just horrible, like Junior, just horrible. And compared to Burial, yes, the maximum sustained winds up to 150 miles per hour, right, relative to Burial.
Hmm.
There was much rain, but when you compare it to Ivan experience, the rainfall was somewhat more aggressive with the wind. I didn't get that aggressiveness with Burial's rainfall. Then, too, where I was in this valley,
Right.
saying it as a result of my position,
Yeah.
Someone else on high elevation perhaps may say something completely different. So it's sort of relative from my perspective. But Ivan had this aggressiveness about it, this rage about it, especially the wind. And of course, we know apart from just the wind, the gusts, sometimes the authorities report, okay, it's going to be 150 miles per hour with higher gusts, that sort of thing. You see the gusts, very, very dangerous, you know? So Ivan, to me, and I'm saying to me, that's my view, was more aggressive, was more destructive. Yeah. But like I say, I don't want to say too much along that line because, of course, the damage assessment is to be conducted and we know the true state of affairs relative to Beryl's destruction across the nation.
Right. Yeah. One of the things that I think people don't really look at, right, Kenroy, is the psychological effect that one goes through during the process of a system like this. I heard nightmares of people having to take rescue under the bed, inside their kitchen, under some table or something in their closet. So one goes through, and as an adult, one goes through a whole process. But what about the kids? Have we ever really seriously looked at the effects that it had or it's having on the younger ones who is unable to process all of this as some of the adults? What do you think about the psychological effect that this is having on the young people of our population?
Yes, yes, that's a good angle for the conversation because you will have people who are suffering from trauma at this time. And I'm happy you raised the conversation at that level because the support being rolled out to not just people on the mainland, but also on the Sister Isles, psychosocial report, that team going up to the Sister Isles, for example, the Prime Minister, NADNO officials, and other officials from the private and public sector, they are going to be among the support to be provided to the Sister Isles, for example, psychosocial support will be in the mix. And that is going to be needed at various levels, not just for adults, but for children, but also for children. Because, a lot of people who may not have experienced Ivan, let's say, or very young people, and perhaps this is their very first hurricane,
Yeah.
major hurricane, they are going to have some nightmares. They are going to have some chilling moments. Sometimes they might be in their quiet corners and they may just be reflecting on what they experienced in their households and so on. So psychosocial report is a big deal. And it's interesting again you raised that because just last night I was saying to somebody, people like Shauna Coffey, who has been absolutely outstanding in her field, will be required to provide psychosocial report. Robert Phillip, another one, in Grenada, another individual. So yes, Junior, a lot of psychosocial report, and it's going to be needed for some time because a lot of people are traumatized. I remember prior to the passage of Beryl,
Uh-huh.
I was speaking to a lady about 51, 52 years, yeah, and she was saying to me she was terrified, and
Yes.
that was prior to Beryl passing, literally. She was terrified because she was living alone, right? And I said to her, if you're living alone and you're that terrified, I suggest you move in with a relative or you allow someone to come and live with you because being alone in your home is not going to do you any justice given your current emotional state.
Yeah.
But I don't know what eventually was her decision, but she was just one of many individuals who were terrified prior to the passage of Hurricane Beryl.
And the funny thing about it is a lot of these psychosocial this event happened and the psychosocial work goes untreated. So people go through their regular day, their regular life, and they just go like if everything is normal, without dealing with that trauma. And it comes back at intervals and times and instances when we don't even expect it. So definitely, I want to dive into that psychosocial assistance that is needed. A lot of our people like, why do I need to go to that? Everybody think that, well, if I go to that, then I'm crazy. I'm crazy, and they have this stigma on people who seek assistance in those ways. I hope that the stigma could be broken and people understand that this is a necessary process, and it needs to be taken seriously.
Yes, yes. It's still very taboo to receive psychosocial reports, to receive a therapy, to tell someone, you know what, I have to do, for example, therapy 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it's still very much taboo in our society, but it's a healthy process. It helps you to get to another level, to release your emotional state, to talk about what experience. I mean, I'm no expert in psychosocial support, but the benefits of it. People who have had psychosocial reports say to me how much it has impacted their lives in a very positive way. So we need to have conversations, education at various levels to let people know it is okay to avail yourself of having psychological support, having psychosocial support specifically.
Right. And again, I believe that the psychosocial support should also extend to the folks in the front lines, the folks who have been working for the past 36 hours relentlessly, whether you're in the media and you're putting out information and you have to be away from your family. I've heard reports yesterday from the Prime Minister that said that someone that worked in NAGMA, they lost a family member. The one confirmed person in River Road that died, it was someone that was working in the field of that. So it should not only extend to the people who were, like, as they would say, the layman that experience it, but also the professional. Even the Prime Minister needs to get the brief, I believe, because it has been a long, long, long day for him and everyone at NAGMA.
You are spot on, Junior. You are spot on. And I met the gentleman last night, whose relative passed, was killed during the passage of Hurricane Beryl, and he's on the front line, very much on the front line. So yes, people on the front line need psychosocial support because they're seeing uh, they're seeing the trauma up close. Yeah,
Yes.
and other people's trauma can also impact them, and they too can be traumatized. So yeah, psychosocial support is a big deal, and it should never be downplayed, never be said, as okay, only some people need it, because you might just be surprised who desperately needs psychosocial support. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, this is the Wake Up Club. I am not with Kirk Sitahal. I'm sitting in for Kirk Sitahal this morning. We're talking about the aftermath of the storm with my guest, Mr. Kenroy Baptiste. Kenroy, one of the things that this whole team, collaborative team, have getting a lot of compliments on is the coordination, the coordinative effort from the media to the folks in the NAGMA camp that is providing information. It seems so well coordinated from each angle. What's your assessment on the coordination from Beryl?
Overall, the team gets a passing grade. Overall, initially we had a few delays relative to the advisories.
Right.
That was something of the past eventually. But overall, the team gets a passing grade. The Prime Minister, right, Deacon Mitchell, he is the chair of the National Emergency Operations Center. Sorry, the National, that's NEAC, the National Emergency Advisory Council, correction,
Right.
right? Of course, they operate in the National Emergency Operations Center. And I have to say, I give him kudos because he showed leadership. No, he showed leadership. I think Jack must be given literally what belongs to Jack. He showed a lot of leadership, and not just a one-time kind of leadership, but consistently throughout, being at press briefings and so on, not just coming on to say like no one then, like sparingly, that sort of thing. He was actually there consistently. So I give him a lot of kudos. His team at NADMA, because of course, apart from being prime minister, he's the minister for disaster management. Yeah, so no doubt a school of thought may say, well, it's obvious he has to be there. But remember, he is the prime minister. He has overall responsibility. So he could have said, you know what, given my overall responsibility, I will come in from time to time and I will leave it totally up to NADMA, as has been the case in the past, for example. But, you know, he was there. He was there throughout it all. So, and you mentioned he too will need some psychosocial support, because that's been a lot. That's been a lot if we're honest with ourselves, you see. But no doubt, overall, the team gets a passing grade. I want to recognize the Met Office. Yeah, I want to recognize the Met Office, Gerard Tema and his team. The young lady, Cassia Johnson.
Yes.
I'm very impressed. I have to say, I'm very
impressed. Yes.
By her delivery, by her involvement, her commitment. I saw the passion, that gentle, powerful feature she expressed during her role. That is to be commended, and that must be commended quite literally. But overall a passing grade. Overall a passing grade. I am very satisfied that the authorities did what they had to do. On the flip side, somewhat, one of my biggest peeves, I have to say, Junior George, admittedly, is relative to the mandatory evacuation order.
Right.
Now, many of us know that there are several low-lying areas in Grenada. So on a typical day when rain falls, for example, some of these low-lying areas are a complete mess. You're talking Stoobies, Marquee, along the coastline, for example, St. Andrew side. And so I am of the view, and that's my view, that we did not have to wait for Beryl to touch down to say, okay, there's now mandatory evacuation order. Residents in these areas must move now, that sort of thing. I think that could have been done prior to Beryl making landfall. But, you know, apart from that, overall, kudos, thumbs up, well done to the teams on various levels.
And the working arrangement and the setup of the shelters, so many people took heed to the information. A lot of people, I believe that there was a report that over 3,000 people were at the shelters. People listened. And of course, there was a state of emergency prior to the passage of the hurricane, because I think that in somehow a lesson was learned. I wasn't there for Ivan, but I saw some of the issues that happened, especially after the hurricane, where people took to the streets and it was a mad rush. It was a looting situation happening. Obviously, they don't want that again. So I think that, instituting that state of emergency, which is still active at this point in time, was also a good way to keep law and order on the population while everyone is going through this, and also to keep the security of the population.
Yes, I agree with the state of emergency and the timing of it, because it was declared by the Governor General prior to the onslaught, as opposed to the onslaught has happened and in the aftermath, the state of emergency is declared. You see, so it was a very proactive measure, in my view, for it to have been declared when it was declared. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. And it remains in effect until Sunday, the 7th of July. But the curfew aspect of things will, of course, end this morning, 7 o'clock.
Right, absolutely. Guys, you're watching The Wake Up Club. Of course, I have my guest today. And I'm sitting in the chair for Mr. Kirk Sitahal, who will be back with you on Friday for the regular Wake Up Club. Today we're talking about the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl, who brought his fury down on the islands, the Grenadine Islands, with a maximum sustained winds of up to 140, 150 miles per hour. We are yet to have full assessment of the damage on Carriacou and Petit Martinique and a lot of the Grenadines Islands. I saw the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines yesterday, Ralph Gonsalves. He spoke and he looked defeated, as you could imagine. He looked defeated. He spoke yesterday to the population on his social media and radio, and he was advising the population that we are in a terrible situation. He made note of Union Island specifically and spoke about the damage. There was an airport, I believe, in one of the other Grenadines Island that was the roof of that airport is off. So there's significant structural damage on the Grenadines Island, and the assessment is not complete. However, he is saying that up to 90% or so of the housing stock on some of the Grenadines Island are somewhat either damaged or completely damaged, partially damaged or completely damaged. And that is a serious situation there. He also spoke about the possibilities of the way forward in terms of reconstruction on the island of St. Vincent, the islands of the Grenadines. He spoke about the monies, St. Vincent and the Grenadines would take a 1% from the value-added tax into an emergency rainy day fund. He spoke about that those rainy days are here. So they have built a nice little egg nest of funds there. And he mentioned that now is the time to dip into those rainy day funds. However, it may not be sufficient enough for the assistance and to cover the assistance of everyone on the island. So he did make mention as well that they would have to borrow, right? And he spoke plainly about the concessionary funds, and most countries are unable to give the grants, or the grants might be small, so they might have to end up borrowing money. So that was St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister yesterday, Ralph Gonsalves. Kenroy, I want to speak to you about the climate change, right? I know we are not expert in the field, and we're not claiming to be expert in the field. But we're looking at this situation, this hurricane here, and it is a June-July hurricane. By all indication from the expert, they're saying that this is not a regular, normal occurrence. This don't happen, right? We know that it would have been it was expected to be a hyperactive season in terms of hurricane. Now, I spoke to the Minister of Climate Resilience yesterday, and we had this conversation. Don't you think that at this point, and what happened to this particular island, Carriacou in particular, the governments of the Caribbean is in a better position to really negotiate and push back hard on the high-emitting countries to do more to help the small island developing states? What's your assessment on that? What has been done and what more could be done by those countries?
Can be done. Climate change is real. And I'm often taken aback when I hear people talk about, oh, it's all fake, it doesn't exist, the entitled to the views, but I just find it so radical, because we are experiencing the effects. We live in a tropical climate. We experience hurricanes during the period June to November. This is first-hand experience. So I do believe the leaders can negotiate for more, because we are in it. Rising sea temperatures, it's no fake. And as you mentioned, it's really interesting you bring that whole angle up, because on a somewhat separate note, somebody called into GBN yesterday. I think people have since been sharing that clip.
Uh-huh.
People are still of the view that climate change is fake. That, for example, Beryl passing Grenada's direction was a setup. In my view, it's absolutely ridiculous because they were talking about it's a setup, a particular politician and his people caused it. Junior, this is just ridiculous. Sometimes we have to just sit and say absolutely nothing because once we open our mouth, it's like all kinds of plaque falls out of it. Like seriously, we have to stop it. Climate change is real and it's manifesting itself by hurricanes, for example. And the harsher these hurricanes have become, all over. The examples are all over. So, yes, we can negotiate more. We can push for more internationally as small island developing states. And I believe we will be successful because we are actually right in the center of the mess.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to give everyone a little science lesson right now. And let's talk about the formulation. I'm going to show a video right now that we compiled yesterday to bring people back to the science of the creation of these monsters. Take a quick look at this.
Greetings, riders, science enthusiasts. Have you ever wondered what goes into creating those massive, swirling Atlantic hurricanes? Today, I'm diving deep into the science behind these powerful storms. Hurricanes, also known as tropical cyclones, are born in the warm waters of the Atlantic Ocean. But it's not just any warm water that does the trick. The sea surface temperature needs to be at least 80 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. Add in a touch of moist air, and you've got the perfect recipe for a hurricane. So, how does it all start? It begins with a cluster of thunderstorms, known as a tropical disturbance. This disturbance needs to be close to the equator, typically between 5 and 20 degrees latitude. Here, the Coriolis effect, a force caused by the Earth's rotation, comes into play. This effect gives the storm its spin. As the disturbance drifts over those warm waters, the moist air rises and cools, forming clouds and releasing heat. This heat warms the surrounding air, causing it to rise even faster. This rising air creates an area of low pressure at the surface, pulling in more warm, moist air from the ocean. It's like a feedback loop, fueling the storm's growth. When the winds reach 39 miles per hour, the system is upgraded to a tropical storm and gets a name. But we're not done yet. If the winds continue to spiral and hit 74 miles per hour, we officially have a hurricane. Now let's talk about the Atlantic specifically. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June to November. During this period, the ocean is warmest, providing the necessary energy for hurricanes to form. Many of these hurricanes start as tropical waves, which are low-pressure systems moving westward from the coast of Africa. As these waves traverse the warm Atlantic waters, they can develop into tropical depressions, then tropical storms, and eventually full-fledged hurricanes. It's fascinating how these giant storms can travel thousands of miles, affecting entire coastlines. Think about it. From a tiny disturbance to a powerful hurricane capable of reshaping landscapes, nature's power is truly awe-inspiring. So, next time you see a hurricane forming in the Atlantic, you'll know the incredible science behind it. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay safe, and keep exploring the wonders of our world. Catch you in the next one, and keep it locked to Ride Along Live.
From a tiny disturbance, guys, from a tiny disturbance to a monster. And that's what happened relative to this monster storm Beryl that devastated the Grenadines Islands. So we was talking about climate change, and this is specifically the problem here, right? And I spoke to Minister Karine James yesterday, and I told her, I said, Karine, Minister, when you sit at the table now, you have such a strong point that you could push, because here we have Carriacou, who is this small. I mean, on the map, you need a microscope to see Carriacou. Carriacou was pushing so hard to be completely eco-friendly. They have a eco-friendly hospital. Carriacou was moving to basically have the whole island be just sustainable by itself without fossil fuel. Carriacou is moving in that direction. And Carriacou didn't deserve this because they are the smallest emitters of the gas. They are the smallest emitters. And here we have big countries, big, massive countries, the Chinas of the world, the United States of the world. How much are they actually doing to help in situations like these when we have catastrophic events like these, that they were the one responsible and created over time. So she have a very strong position to stand on right now based on this event here.
Yes, you are spot on once more. Absolutely. And Junior, I'm happy you played that video a while ago because the more awareness, your platform can bring to viewers, the better, so that they can make informed decisions. You are spot on. She has a very strong case. And because listen, you remember prior to the passage of Hurricane Beryl, the solar PV plant in Limle Karakou,
Yes.
they were so proud of that. And many people are so proud of that project. So that was up and running, and so much effort, so much resources pumped into that project. And so, it's very hard when you make so much progress in your life, for example, or nation, and then you have a case where all the progress is used up. You go back to ground zero or close to ground zero. You have to start over.
Right. But we did hear that the solar panel in Limle Karakou were able to withstand a Category 5. Hopefully,
exactly. And this is why the assessment is going to say what's what. Yeah, but it's going to be, so hypothetically speaking now, it's going to be very traumatizing for a lot of people if they get word that solar PV plant in Limle Karakou has, been used up, for example. I hope not. I hope it's still intact. I hope, because remember, Windward, Limle, that area, residents were asked to evacuate, Dover, Windward, Limle in Karakou, right? So we don't know, at the moment, we don't know what really transpired in these areas relative to devastation or lack of, I should say. But we will know, and we will know very soon. But hypothetically now, should that be destroyed or damaged in some way, shape, or form, it's going to be really hurtful to hear that.
Absolutely.
Because the effort put into having it where it was prior to the passage of Hurricane Beryl.
Absolutely. Let's shift gears a little bit, right? Because I had this conversation with a colleague yesterday. I want to get your views on this, right? The colleague said to me, Junior, it was necessary that something brought us back to the center and be able to look at ourselves, right? Because he alluded to us, something that I said in a program the day before, where when I said that look around and all you're seeing is political bickering and fighting, and people are just hating on each other, neighbors in the same yard, they are fighting. They're in the same bloody yard and they're fighting. They don't want to talk to this one because of perceived political whatever, right? And here we have a situation where, boom, we have to work together to build, right? Things like that sometimes, he said things like that sometimes is necessary so we could wake up. Your thoughts?
That's an interesting convo right there, Junior. I will say this, because I want to be, it may look as a ABC question, but I just want to say this so that I'm not misunderstood, right? There is a school of thought that says when we experience, for example, the devastation of a hurricane, God is teaching us something. I don't know how I feel about that school of thought. Because, in other words, the school of thought goes on to say, okay, so you mentioned the bickering and all of that, right? So as a result of the bickering and the fighting and the drama that's going on in the Spice Isle, for example, God is saying, hey, I'm going to give you this. I don't know how I feel about that. What I know is when such things happen, they are reminders for us to see, to understand that life is fragile.
Yes.
You're making a lot of noise over quote unquote trivial things, and here you are, your life can change in a flash.
Yes.
It's not from my perspective of the bickering has happened, so I'm going to teach you a lesson to shut your mouth Here I am, God, here I am, that sort of thing. I don't believe in that school of thought at all. But I do believe when these disasters happen, they serve as a reminder of there are more important things to focus on as opposed to fighting your brother, making Mawet on social media, for example.
Mhm.
Do better. Yeah. So that is my take on it. You know, it's a controversial take. I have no interest in being in any back and forth with anybody relative to my view on it,
Right.
especially the religious community, for example. But what I will say is, life is fragile, Julia.
Mhm.
And many times I find we spend a lot of time on trivial matters when really we should be productive. How do we move our lives forward? How do we improve our livelihood? And how do we do the very same for our brothers if they want to move up the ladder, that sort of thing? You know, in that sort of goodness, I think we should be spending our time as opposed to the bickering and the malware that happens, for example, on social media.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Guys, again, you're watching the Wake Up Club, and we are here speaking about the aftermath of the storm and the support that is needed, the assistance that will be needed. I just want to put this on record that Right Along Live received numerous calls from stakeholders, interest groups, and individuals who is willing to help, right? Now, they have this assistance going forward have to be a coordinative one. Because in instances like these, we oftentimes see a lot of, and I'll say it bluntly, scammers, liars, and thieves use this opportunity to benefit themselves more than anything else. We have to be very careful and conscious of this situation. People would take a bad situation like a hurricane and try to see how they could take more from you, from the family who is already grieving. So I mentioned to the individual, it has to be a coordinative oversight series of events. And we have to do it collectively. If everyone, this one decided to do this, it's not going to function properly. So I'm urging the people, folks with ideas, and see how we could collectively work and come together to help Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and the folks in the Grenadines to let's start the conversation of how we could work together. And this again is where we're speaking about no, this party go say, okay, well, they go organize something or this organization because they're political affiliated to this side or that side, that they go organize something. Done with that crap. Let's come together as a unit, right? And see how we could help. Because when someone got damaged, house got damaged, it wasn't this party or that party house that got damaged. It was a Grenadian individual. And it's that Grenadian individual that needs assistance. No litmus tests should be done to assess where they are politically or not. So I'm appealing to the people who are trying and starting to orchestrate and put together the ideas. I would hate to see political party affiliates putting together things by themselves, all right? And go back into the same small-mindedness that we are talking about here. So I'm able, I'm willing, I'm reachable. Let's start a conversation and let's do this collectively. Not everybody trying to do a little piece and a little piece and a little piece, because this one want recognition for raising this and sending down 5 barrel and taking a thing and taking picture of barrel and all of that stuff is not necessary. Your thoughts?
Yeah, true, I agree. Yes, because now really isn't the time to be trying to score political points, but acting from a place of humanity, acting from a place of extending yourself to your fellow men in a time like this. While we are to Junior, this morning at 8, organizers, I'm not sure specifically who are the organizers per se, but what I do know, maybe government may have some involvement in it, but I don't want to say too much. But from what I understand, that mobilization is credible, right? At the Yacht Club this morning, Grenada Yacht Club, 8 o'clock, they're asking individuals wanting to give relief supplies to Carriacou and Petit Martinique residents there to show up at Grenada Yacht Club
Right.
to their contributions, because the boat, of course, will be loading such supplies to take to the sister isles. So that's credible. That's a credible source right there. based on my reports. Yes, so feel free. If it's on your heart to give whatever you want to give to the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, because preliminarily they are mostly affected at this time. Yeah, based on the preliminary assessment coming in from the authorities, right? So feel free to give support, do so generously, and just extend yourself to your fellow men, because again, life is fragile.
Yes.
Your life can change. You know something, Junior? Your life can change any minute for the best or the worst, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in a time like this, we need, and Carriacou is Grenada. Isn't a case where, you know, Carriacou is a separate entity, even if the fact is we all humans.
Yes.
We bleed the same, just saying, the same blood. I'm just saying. So let's extend ourselves as best we can to our neighbors, to, you know, fellow citizens. Let's do what we can. But the situation in Carriacou, a friend of mine was saying, Petite Martinique, for example, is flattened. The thing not looking good at all up there. Petite Martinique, poles underground, electricity poles, phone poles. You know, it's just a mess, you know. But I'm hoping to go up as well. The Sister Isles. Once I'm on island, I will bring some footage up close and speak to residents, speak to the people affected, that sort of thing, and bring you the very latest. But they need support, and of course there will be support as well extended to people on mainland across the nation. Absolutely. The authority will be rendering support. So I'm happy to know that things are afoot. Peace is being executed in the aftermath.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kenroy, thank you so much. It's an hour. It's an hour already. The time fly so quickly, and I appreciate you.
If it's possible, just one other thing. Go ahead, Junior, but just one other thing, if it's possible.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Essential. People have been asking, is there work today? Right? And the truth is, according to the authorities, only essential workers are required to report to work Tuesday this morning, right? And when you talk about essential workers, you're talking the RGPF, hospitals and health facilities, His Majesty's prisons, Department of Environmental Health Services, Waste Disposal and Sanitation, the Airports Authority and Grenada Ports Authority, gas stations, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Infrastructure, all public utilities, media services, that's expected for sure. Yeah. Supermarkets, as well as bus owners and operators. Yeah, so they are being asked to provide their support in a time like this. I also see a note here, as well as any public servants required by the Cabinet Secretary or their permanent secretaries. Okay, so that's the gist of who's to report to work today. The rest of the population, you can, of course, stay home and do what you can to get yourself back to where you were prior to the passage of Hurricane Beryl.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Kenroy Baptiste, for doing an amazing job on GBN for umpteen years. You inspired a lot of people, Kenroy, and I want you to continue. And your life is always talking about being your better self and preaching the good words out there. So we appreciate that, bringing the good energy out on social media. We need more of that, Kenroy. So kudos to you, my brother.
Thank you. And likewise, Junior, you're doing a fantastic job. Many people love you. Many people appreciate you. We see you and the contributions you make to Grenada, as in Grenada on island, and of course, Grenada in the diaspora. You are absolutely amazing. Keep on keeping on, my brother. I wish you well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll keep in touch, my brother.
All right.
Yeah, that was my brother Kenroy Baptiste there on the Wake Up Club.
Riders Excursion and Tours weekly e-bike rides. Gather your family and friends for an unforgettable ride through stunning landscapes. Book your adventure today at ridersabike.com or call 473-422-1011. Don't miss out. Let's ride.
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
Welcome back to the Wake Up Club. In the morning time, we hope and pray that everyone is doing great today. And you may not be at work if you're in Grenada. You may be at home today, but still try to be productive, all right? Still try to be productive. Do something productive. Don't just let the day go ahead and you ain't do nothing, right? Don't just spend the day scrolling on Facebook and next thing you look, it's 6 o'clock already and then bam, right along in the evening time. And then by the end of it, the day done and you ain't do nothing. Nah, let's make this a productive day. So this is what's pissing me off, right? What's pissing me off? What's pissing me off is I hate people that are negative. Lord have mercy, what happened to all you? How are you so negative? People that are negative, people who always seem to see the glass as half empty. They always have a problem for a solution. Why are some of you guys like that? Why? Why can't you see something and be optimistic? Why are you so pessimistic? Why you think everything is so negative or against you in particular? Listen. The truth and the fact of the matter is, guys, this damn fly, you see? Just like this fly, you don't want me to speak. The way it come out. The truth and the fact about this guy, there is a lot that you could accomplish if you just take a moment and look from a different perspective. A lot. You would even be more happy because you're not seeing everything as the skies falling out from on top of you. So take a moment or talk to the people that you see every minute and always negative about everything. This lady called me yesterday. I ain't even going to repeat what she said, but listen. Just negativity. Look at the other perspective, right? Change your mindset. It probably gonna change your life because it's probably that's how you live. So you always think that everybody's out to get you. Change your mindset and it would change your life. Stop being so pessimistic, right? Stop it, I say. Yeah, the enemies of progress. Absolutely. Stop it. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say for today. Join me at 6 p.m. for Ride Along Live Prime Time. We're looking forward to chatting with you there. We have some important information. The whole program is what's pissing you off. We're going to talk more coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. And for those of you celebrating birthday, if you're celebrating a birthday or celebrated a birthday, happy birthday to you. Yes, anyone celebrating a birthday or will be celebrating a birthday within the next couple of days? Anybody? There have to be someone. What about the folks on YouTube? Anyone celebrating a birthday? If you're celebrating a birthday or you're celebrating a birthday or you celebrated a birthday within the last 7 days, happy belated or happy birthday to you. and have a blessed day. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program today. On behalf of all of our production team here at Ride Along Live, our senior executive producer, Lois JJ, always working hard in the background to ensure that we do have a program. Thanks to you for your support, the folks who are supporters of this platform, the folks who give us stars, the folks who make a donation to ensure that the lights stay on in this studio and that we could continue to function. We appreciate you so much. In the next couple of days, we are trying our best to get our media team on the ground in Grenada to give you a full assessment and to keep the conversation going. Because we do believe that oftentimes the big media organization, they are like, I say they're like tyrants, right? Probably tyrants is not the word. This big media organization, sometimes they see a story as a big opportunity and they come in from, and that's not to say that we don't want the coverage and we don't want the world to know that we need assistance. But oftentimes what we see is that they come in and they piecemeal the story, and then they sometimes don't get the full story because they have such a limited time slot to showcase the story. The full message is missed and then they're gone, right? I know that there are people who are serious and want to continue the conversation, stay on the ground and get information out and get assistance out. We hope that the media organization, the major media organization that would come into Carriacou, is not just seeing this as an opportunity for a good soundbite or a good a filler spot in the nightly news, but instead you are serious about helping the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. So probably in your story, you want to reach out to organization and post out there how people could help continuously. And if you're serious about the assistance that the country need, this is what these organizations should do. So again, I'm sure that in the next couple of days, we'll see this big media organization all flying down to these islands and covering the story, and we appreciate that. But spread the message that it would help the island on a long-term basis, not only to fill a 30-second spot on your nightly news, and cover the story properly, all right? Thank you so much. I'll be around whether it's a big story, a small story, a kind of small story, a minute story, a microscopic story, we'll be around. And oftentimes, we don't even get recognized by a lot of the powers that be. But we're here, and we continue to do what we have to do. Take us for granted, but we're still here, and we'll continue to be here. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program, Ride Along Live. We are here and continue to be here. For the folks in Carriacou and Petite Martinique, we say we will be there for you. We'll continue to be here for you. We're going to leave you with this video on the top, I believe, is a top 5. Yes, this is the top 5 worst hurricane in the Caribbean in history. Catch you guys again later this evening at 6 p.m. Good day.
Hey, Ride Along Live fan, supporters, and followers. Today, we're diving into the heart of the storm, exploring the most devastating hurricanes in Caribbean history. These natural disasters not only reshaped the landscape, but also left lasting impacts on communities. Let's start with Hurricane Gilbert. In 1988, Gilbert roared through the Caribbean, reaching Category 5 status. It hit Jamaica with winds of up to 185 miles per hour. The destruction was immense, with over 300 people losing their lives and billions in damages. Jamaica would never forget the storm that turned day into night. Next up, we have Hurricane Ivan. In 2004, Ivan carved a path of destruction from Grenada to the Cayman Islands and into the U.S. This Category 5 hurricane was a force of nature with sustained winds of 165 miles per hour. Grenada faced catastrophic damage, with 90% of homes affected. The storm's wrath was felt for years. Then, there's Hurricane Irma. In 2017, Irma became one of the strongest hurricanes ever recorded in the Atlantic. With peak winds of 180 miles per hour, Irma devastated islands like Barbuda, St. Martin, and the Virgin Islands. Entire communities were left in ruins, and recovery has been slow and painful. Hurricane Maria also struck in 2017, just after Irma. This Category 5 monster pummeled Puerto Rico with winds of 175 miles per hour. The island's power grid was decimated, leading to the largest blackout in U.S. history. thousands of lives were lost, and the recovery is ongoing. Finally, we have Hurricane Dorian. In 2019, Dorian unleashed its fury on the Bahamas. With sustained winds of 185 miles per hour, it tied Gilbert and surpassed Irma and Maria. The slow-moving storm caused catastrophic damage, especially on the Abaco Islands and Grand Bahama. Entire neighborhoods were obliterated, leaving a legacy of destruction. These hurricanes remind us of nature's incredible power. They also highlight the resilience and strength of Caribbean communities. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this Ride Along Live original content. Have a blessed day, riders.
Pick yourself up with Ride Rent a e-bike today and take advantage of the smartest and coolest way to get around. Rental starting for only $30 per hour and less than $100 EC per day. Zip through traffic, save money, and look awesome doing it. Check us out at the Esplanade Mall today. Visit us online at ridersebike.com or give us a call at 473-422-1011. Your wallet and the planet will thank you. Ride Rent a e-bike.